I'm Natasha. I work at BIBD and I'm here with
Nadya. I'm a human resource officer and we're sisters and we have a brother who has autism.
We're here in conjunction with World Autism Awareness Day.
We'll be answering a couple of questions. So we'll start with this one. Let's see. What is autism to you?
Autism to me is my brother, whom I call Abang. So when someone says autism, I instantly think Abang. So what Abang is like is he's very detail-oriented. He cares about people. He has his own set of rules, his own routine every day, every hour of the day probably. And there are people who honestly, I don't think they really care much about what people have to say about them or what people think about them, which partly one of the things that makes them unique is that. And no matter what, even if people have bad things to say about them or anything negative, they'll still put a smile on their face and they'll still be kind to you and they'll still respect you. So I think that's what autism means to me.
What is autism to me? To me personally, autism is just a label. It doesn't define. In the context of my brother, autism is just a label. It doesn't define who he is. Sure, it sets him apart maybe from me and my other siblings, but all the other things that my sister said, like kind, loving and detail-oriented, that's him. I don't associate that to autism. I associate that to my brother. Autism is it's a beautiful spectrum. Autism is Abang. Autism is
Zidan.
Yeah, Zidan. I know. Autism is Abol. Autism is all his friends. Autism is Abang calling Zidan when we're on family vacations.
Yeah. He'll just randomly
just to say hi Zidan,
and
then
Zidan.
and then show the rest of us, and Zidan will say Zidan will say, how are you today, what you're doing, and
how are you, Edzra?
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to have a friend who calls you every day just to check up on you and say how are you, and then just hang up, like no empty talk, no unnecessary stuff, just to say hi, how are you, and then that's it. That's autism to me. It might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to us.
Yeah. Next question. So, what is it like to have a sibling that is autistic?
The answer, okay. It's a bit of a challenge, but I wouldn't say that in a bad way. I think because when we found out that Badri had autism, you and Abang were about like
Really young.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6. Like you were in kindy.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, you were in kindy, and because Abang had such a hard time
in the same school as me.
He had such a hard time mingling with other kids, and I remember the teacher telling our parents that he wasn't cooperating well in class and like he was a bad student. And as an older sibling, I felt really mad because I was like, why would this teacher say that?
Yeah.
I was like, why would she say that about my brother? Literally, he's like the most sweetest boy ever.
And he's very smart too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is. How do I feel? I don't know. I don't feel any impartial feelings towards him from how I feel towards you guys. I do. It does, like, having him in my life has taught me that, like you said before, it teaches you a different level of patience. Cause, yeah, like he does things his way, and we shouldn't tell him like, no, you can't do this that way, you have to be like this. Like, we have to be accepting of him, because that's how God created him. So it's taught me a new level of like patience, and he's just such a kind person. His kindness it's like at the top of the roof compared to people who don't have autism. When we're eating at the dinner table, he'll make sure that everyone has a piece of everything before he gets one for himself. So it's like the kindness and the love that he's shown us that you would rarely ever see in a person without autism. It humbles you, and it reminds you to be kind to everyone, because you don't know what someone's going through, you know. Like, the kind of kindness that you wish people would show him, it's the kind of kindness that you want to emulate to others as well, because you hope that people give it back to him when they see him. So how do I feel like having a sibling that has autism? I'd say I feel blessed. I feel, if there's a word for it that expresses feeling more than just blessed, then that's how I feel.
To me, because we have a really close age gap, obviously when we were little, I didn't think much of it. I didn't think much of how, oh no, my brother has autism. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna live? Well, I didn't think about that. It was pretty much like, oh, okay, Amang has autism.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Okay, so I think because he was diagnosed earlier on in his life and my life, I feel like I was ready for it, you know? I was kind of ready for, like, okay, so we're both not going to be in the same school, we're both not going to be hanging out with the same people, we're both not going to go through the same things in life. So I guess like, I wouldn't say that I feel bad, but I do wish, and not that I wish, but like a part of me inside always thought about oh, like, I kind of want him to like go out with me because we're very close. I want him to go out with me. I want us to be going to the same school. I want us to be like best friends. That's what I thought. But then as we grow older, I don't feel that way anymore. I feel as if this was meant to happen. Abang is still my best friend, and I'm so grateful to have him. He teaches me a new perspective in life, and that's something that I cannot learn from somebody else. Something else I cannot learn from my younger brother or my sister or anybody else. So like what she said, it really humbles you, it really humbles us, and I feel blessed too. And what it's like is, it's like having like, I guess like, you know what I mean?
Just say it.
Like, let me think, I don't know how to say it.
I feel like he's the, what's it called? He's like the anchor in our sibling.
Yeah, like the anchor in our siblings.
Like, if it weren't for him, I don't think we would all try as hard to spend time together.
Yeah.
And, like, make sure we do more things.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's also really fun for me because when I'm lonely and I don't have anybody to watch my series with, I'll just ask Abang, can you watch this with me? And he'll just sit there and watch it with me, so I never have to feel lonely. That's what it's like to grow up with someone, a sibling who has autism. Was it hard for you growing up to understand your sibling?
I wouldn't sugarcoat my experience. It wasn't like easy. It was definitely difficult, especially in those days, in the early 2000s, where you couldn't just run to a computer and Google like what is autism, start reading a bunch of things. Like I feel like I only grasped the concept of what autism was probably when I was in high school, and it was more easier to find resources, and my brother started going to therapy, and I got to meet with other families who had family members who had autism. So it wasn't easy. It was hard in the beginning, but it gets easier as time passes, and now like autism doesn't really mean anything to us. It's just like we don't say like, oh, this is my autistic brother. It's just like, this is my brother. Like this is Budry. That's it. How does it feel like having a sibling with autism?
No, was it hard?
Oh, was it hard? Was it hard? It's hard, but always know that there are people out there that you can talk to, that you can reach out to. There are so many centers now, like SMARTER. If you're ever curious to know how you can educate yourself more, or what it is that you can do to be more knowledgeable, how you can help, you can always reach out to these centers, and they'll be more than happy to help you and educate you, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation for all of us, for us to be more aware, for these people, for these teachers who work really hard to make sure that their students can live comfortably, have people out there who are concerned enough to want to know, and for autistic people to know that the public care enough about them to learn about how to make their lives more comfortable. So hard, yes, but not forever.
Was it hard for me growing up with Abang? Like what my sister said, it is hard at the beginning. It's hard when the three of us, we want to be able to like gossip or talk about like the drama in school, but obviously my brother isn't into that stuff. Sure, he'll sit there and he'll look at you, but he won't say anything. Does he understand the drama? We'll never know.
I feel like he does.
So he probably does, but he won't say anything because, again, like, he is not judgmental. Yeah, so in that sense, yes, it is hard. But then as we grow older, we kind of talk to him the way we do with each other. We'll say random things to each other, and we'll just say it to him too, because we feel as if he's one of us, you know. Even though he is autistic, we feel like we can tell him anything, even if he won't respond. I guess that comes with being patient and respecting a sibling who has autism. That's why we feel comfortable talking to him the way we do now. That's why I feel like it's not hard anymore now. I don't feel like when we're in public, or if I meet somebody new, I don't feel like, oh, this is my brother, and I won't feel like, oh, should I tell them if he's autistic? I won't feel embarrassed. Honestly, back then, before people knew about autism, I did feel a bit, not embarrassed, but more like, do they even know what autism is? Do they know that it's not something that you should be, not something that you should look down on? It's more of a spectrum that they have, you know. It's something that all autistic people are different. So in that sense, because they're all different, I did feel like maybe, like, I don't know what he's going to be like at this point in life and that point in life. So I did, at some point, I do feel like it's gonna be difficult. But then honestly, shout out to SMARTER, the more he's here, I feel like he's learning more about how to live independently. He learns how to cook, he learns all this computing and all the necessary things that, you know, everybody knows. So I feel like it's not so hard growing up with him. I know that he knows what he's doing. He can be left alone at home. He knows, yeah. In fact, he likes it. So definitely growing up, as I grow older, we're now in our 20s. I don't think we both feel like it's difficult anymore. He's definitely one of us, and that's how it should be with every other sibling.
Yes.
Next question. What are your hopes for your sibling?
What are my hopes for my sibling? I hope that the world continues to be more inclusive of people with autism, and for them to understand that not all autistic people are the same. There are some people who have people are on different spectrums of autism, and they shouldn't just generalize autism as being one thing, and they should learn to be more accepting. I hope that in the future my brother can feel comfortable to go anywhere, to behave the way he can behave without being judged, without feeling marginalized. Because when we go out sometimes, because autistic people have impulses and they can't help it. If they could, I'm pretty sure they would shut it down as quickly as they can, but they can help it. So in our case, our brother likes to stroll around, and sometimes he gets a burst of energy and he needs to let it go. So he'll start running from one corner to the other. But the thing is, it doesn't bother anyone. He won't run into anybody. He won't bump into anyone. But the stares that we get, oh my goodness. If I could tell that person off, I would just give it a go, but I can't. And I wish that people could have that same kind of feeling towards these people with autism. The feeling that I have to hold back to tell these people off to not give my brother the look would be the same feeling I wish they would have, to being understanding of these individuals who are not so similar to how they are, but are just as kind and loving and as human as everybody else. So that's what I would hope.
I pretty much agree with what my sister just said. I really hope that people would try to understand autism much more, because when we're in public and let's say there's a kid who is running around or making unusual noises, I'll know instantly this child has autism, I'll know. But then I'll look at other people and they'll be looking at this child very much why is this kid acting that way? And it's not very nice. It's not that this kid is weird, it's not that they're not behaving well in public, but it's just because this kid has autism and they are called special needs for a reason. So I just hope that people understand this more, and hopefully people with autism can also be more comfortable in public, and I really hope that there's that like mutual understanding. Yeah.
Next question. Any advice to other siblings out there?
For me, because I'm 1 year younger than my brother, I think growing up, we were very close because obviously I was a child and he was also a child. So we were like normal siblings. And then as we grew older, it was different in the sense that I was going to a normal school and I was hanging out with my friends, but he wasn't. He was at home. My mom was taking care of him, and things were just different. He was socially awkward, and my advice would be to be more accepting, and I think being patient is also a really good advice, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people tend to feel like, oh, like kasiyan jua you have a sibling who's autistic, or oh, I hope things will get better for him. But no, like, because you have this patience, we feel so grateful to have a family member who is autistic. It just takes a lot of patience growing up, a lot of understanding too, because honestly, we cannot teach autistic people how to live. We cannot teach them how to wake up and you gotta brush your teeth, you have to eat your breakfast after that. No, they will teach us how they will live, and we just have to be accepting of that. For example, our brother, he'll wake up and then he'll check his phone, he'll open his laptop, he'll run from one side to the other, he'll go to the kitchen, sit down on his usual seat, he'll stand up, he'll run again. So we can't really feel like, oh, can you stop doing that? No, that's not how autism works. We can't do that. We have to learn how to be patient with how they live their lives. That's my advice for other siblings out there. Yeah.
What's my advice to siblings out there? Because it's my younger brother, and as I feel for all my other younger siblings, I have a sense of protectiveness over him, sometimes more so over the rest, because it's hard for him to express himself. So what advice would I give to siblings? I would say treat your sibling with autism. Of course, they should get different kind of treatment because they have different ways of expressing themselves, but also make them feel included in everything, because that's what we do with their brother. We don't make him feel like he's an outsider. We like to pull pranks on each other.
Yeah.
We make sure we do that with him too.
Yeah.
And my parents will tell us off. They'll be like, don't do that to him, you're bullying him. But little do they know that he does the same thing to us.
Yeah.
He laughs at us and makes jokes about us, and I think it gives him a sense of normalcy. So I think know the balance between how you should treat your sibling differently because they have autism, and when it's fine to treat them just like any other sibling, so they feel like, oh, I'm just like them, I can just laugh along with them because they understand my jokes too. So that's my advice.
Happy World Autism Awareness Day!